But for those who stand in your way and betray you, their day of reckoning will come.
Hey everyone, welcome back with Being on Mac, where today we are going to continue our playthrough of WWE Day of Reckoning 2. Rey Mysterio, last week at Survivor Series, your actions cost Kai and RVD, your former partner, the WWE Tag Team Championship. Thanks to your, well, uncharacteristic actions, Eddie Guerrero and Booker T are the new champs. Well, I personally would compliment you for taking action. Word on the street is that many folks seem confused by your actions. Would you care to elaborate on why you got involved last week? Coach, I'll tell you exactly why I got involved. I've been in the WWE for many years now, and all along I've always heard the same things. You're too small, Rey. You wear that weird mask, Rey. You can't beat the heavyweights, Rey. I've proven myself on SmackDown. I've been a Cruiserweight champ and a Tag champ. And yet I still hear that disrespectful garbage every single day. I have to live with it, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Coach. It eats away at me. So a few weeks ago, RVD and I were the #1 contenders for the WWE Tag titles, and I got taken out. If that's how the champs wanted to play, fine. I can live with that. But what I couldn't live with is the fact that I lost my spot. Teddy Long gave my spot to Kai on his first night on SmackDown, and then he and RVD won the titles. Coach, I have to fight an uphill battle every day to get any respect in this business, and still I got cold punked like that. It's kinda got a point. But I've worked too long and too hard to lose title opportunities that way. To get disrespected like that? What did I ever hear from RVD and Kai since then? We miss you, Rey. Get well soon, Rey. Well, I didn't just get well. I got even, yo. Now none of us have the Tag Team Championship. Well, I'd say that certainly explains things, and tonight it seems that Kai is looking to even the score. He's requested a one-on-one match with you tonight. Are you going to take him up on the offer? I'm not afraid of him or anyone. Kai, I'll see you out there, dog. God, Rey Mysterio's arms look so chubby and weird without the gloves. I hate how they just don't have his gloves in this game. It's definitely just so off-putting. Look at how small they are. Actually, they're kind of thick. It's weird. But yeah, I mean, these games kind of experimented a few times with Rey Mysterio turning heel in these games. And every time that they do, like, the reasoning makes sense that they come up with, but it just never feels right. Like, Rey Mysterio's character just never is one of those few characters in which it never feels right for them to be a heel, you know what I mean? Like, I think Pat Patterson once famously said to Ricky Steamboat said, hey, you know, I want to freshen up my career, I want to turn heel. And Pat Patterson, I think, said, hey, you know, you could go and you could cut, you know, someone's arms off, I forget who, probably the biggest babyface or something like that. You could go and cut someone's arms off with a chainsaw and the fans will still cheer you. Because, you know, I mean, I agree. I mean, people like Ricky Steamboat, Rey Mysterio, no matter what, you just can't hate them. They're not like John Cena or whatever, or Hulk Hogan, in which people kind of get sick of them or whatever. Because, I mean, they just, especially Rey Mysterio, that it always feels like, you know, you always hear about how nice of a guy Rey Mysterio is and all that other stuff. So, I mean, it just feels so genuine, and I think that's why it just doesn't feel right to ever have him as a heel. Plus, he is so small, let's be honest. Like, he could be a massive dick, I'm sure. You know, I'm sure if he really tried hard, he could just be kind of a douchebag, and he could probably work, but I don't know, it's kind of one of those things of like, you'd have to try hard to get people to hate you, and at that point, it's probably easier to, it's definitely easier actually to be hated than it is to be loved. So I don't think you would want to ruin a good thing like that. Other than the gloves though, this is a pretty cool Rey Mysterio attire. I think this was once again in SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, but I think he had the gloves. I can't remember. There's a lot of reusing outfits and models and stuff in this game, and you know, their PS2 sister games and stuff like that. But once again, like with Muhammad Hassan and Batista in this game, they had you know, they had quite a few unique outfits to the series, or this game in particular. Okay, yeah, there's no way Rey Mysterio's doing that to me. Come on. They must have gotten rid of the weight thing. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Just the weight, essentially the ability to... They must have gotten rid of, you know, the weight classes in this game, where, you know, if you're a smaller guy, you would have to, you know, mash the button in order to pick people up. Jeez, I'm making everything sound difficult in this series. Oh boy. I like that sign. I'm your friend. Okay, now I can't even see. Alright, Rey better be done here, folks. Alright, sweet. I don't understand why they don't have just a normal getting up animation. Alright, so now we have the option to either go for the tag titles or go for the US. And I hate tag team matches in this game. I'm always going to be a solo player. Going solo again, so it looks like we're probably going to have some issues with RVD. Well, Rey Mysterio cost me my tag team title. But I hope the beating I put on him last week sent a message to him to stay the hell out of my business. But actually, Mysterio might have done me a favor. When I faced him last week, I almost forgot how much I like being a singles competitor. Don't get me wrong, it was great holding the tag team title. But I think it's about time for me to resume a singles career, and there's no better place to start than by challenging the United States Champion. Big Show, I know you're back there, so get out here. I'm calling you out. Uh-oh. This is not the Big Show. Oh no, he's got that 1,000-yard stare. This is not going to end well for us. Okay, dude. First of all, it wasn't just your tag team title. In case you've forgotten, when you got yourself pinned at Survivor Series, you cost both of us our gold. Ooh. Now I understand that Mysterio interfered and Eddie Guerrero cheated, but you didn't even offer to try and win the titles back. Yeah, I don't care to. That's totally weak. But whatever. If you want to go for the United States title, that's cool. In fact, since I guess I don't have a partner anymore, I think I'll go for it too. That should make it pretty obvious how much I was carrying you in our tag matches. Yeah, horseshit. You? Carrying me? Don't make me laugh. If you want to try and prove that you're better than me, how about trying to do it right here, right now? A match against you, right now? You're on. Boy, an impromptu match with RVD. You don't get those often. I think RVD was one of those guys who I definitely agree was underrated. He's probably, in my opinion, as much as I love Kane and stuff like that, I'd say RVD is probably my pick for the most underrated wrestler of all time. And I say that simply because, you know, I think he just kind of had like a whole, total, completely unique package from anybody else. And you could say there's elements of him that were, you know, we've seen before. You know, obviously the martial arts aspect. You know, we had Glacier and Mortis and stuff like that from WCW. Ernest the Cat Miller. In a weird way, you can even say Eric Bischoff. Then obviously there were people that were better at promos, of course. And as far as high flying, you know, there's Jeff Hardy. There's, well, both the Hardy Boys actually. Of course, there's the cruiserweights in WCW with the luchador sound, stuff like that. But RVD was able to kind of. Oh, that's speaking of high flying. That was a pretty cool move. Looked like it hurt him more than it hurt me, though. But anyway, back to what I was saying about, you know, RVD. I think he was able to. He kind of felt like the most complete wrestler before it kind of became, you know, too. I don't want to say mainstream because that's not really what it is. It's too common, you know. Like, I feel like the PG era, a part of why I still like that, not only because I grew up with it, you know, obviously there's going to be bias for that, but the fact that, you know, I think once we enter like that, you know, I think they just refer to it as the new era or whatever, which is a terrible name. You know, like 2015, 2014, it's, you know, probably the COVID era or whatever. I mean, it felt like everybody had the, you know, just a total package in every regard. You know, I think I agree with, I think it's Kevin Nash who said, in which, you know, everybody's got everything now, so that nobody's unique. So, you know, everybody's a high flyer. Everybody's, you know, wrestles kind of similarly to each other. And, you know, people like Ricochet and stuff like that, they're going to stand out because they're the absolute best and peak at it, but then you just have a lot of guys that are lost in the shuffle. It's kind of the equivalent of like how everybody was a big bodybuilder during the Ruthless Aggression era, so a lot of people weren't very unique. I'll explain more on that after, you know, this cutscene. You know, I haven't been on SmackDown that long, but I've already won and lost the tag team titles. Now I'm no stranger to winning titles, and since I don't currently have any gold, I guess you can say I know something about losing them too. He's humble. He's humble. But one thing I learned way back when is that when you lose... Sorry, my cat like twitched when I was getting excited. The best thing you can do is set even higher goals for yourself and vow to do better the next time. So that's why I've thrown my hat into the ring for the United States title here on SmackDown. Now, I know what everyone's going to say. Oh, you can go for the United States title, but you have to earn your spot first. Well, let me tell you something. I think my resume speaks for itself. That's true. I've held every Raw title at one time or another, and I know I can give the United States Champion a run for his money right here on SmackDown. So Big Show, if you're listening, what do you say about giving me a title opportunity? I'll face you whenever you want, wherever you want, and in any type of match you want. I'll give you every advantage. So what do you say? That's it, show? You have nothing to say to me? You got something more important going on? Well, apparently he didn't. I just had to wait 5 more seconds. Maybe there's something wrong with my ears, because I can't be hearing you right. What? Are you riding high off of beating that hyperactive munchkin Rey Mysterio a couple of weeks ago? Is that why you're so cocky right now? I also beat RVD for your information. In case you haven't noticed, I'm 7 feet tall. I'm almost 500 pounds. I eat Mysterio-sized meals for breakfast. Yeah, you certainly look like it. And as good as it is to be the United States Champion, it's not worth getting yourself killed for, pal. You think you're something special because you held all kinds of titles on Raw? Well, let me tell you something. This isn't Raw, it's SmackDown. And all those titles you won, or stole, were held by guys who were on Raw for a reason. And that's because the largest athlete in the world is right here on SmackDown. They know they'd have no chance with me, so they stay on the inferior brand and try to pretend that I don't exist. But you know what? You're absolutely right about one thing. You don't deserve a match for my United States title, because you haven't earned it. Fine, show. I figured that's what you'd say. Then you tell me, what do I have to do to earn it? Well, how about this for starters? Height and rank? There you go, Kai. Start earning it. Oh, and this one's gonna be no disqualification. Just the way you like it, Hyde and Rake. Alright, so to continue my my ramble and stuff on, wrestling today, I should also say that, yeah, I think a lot of people are very similar in the wrestling style, but I think there definitely are a lot of unique wrestlers, so I guess I take that back to a degree, but I think with the rise of indie wrestling and stuff like that, it just kind of, the whole business has changed, and I don't think it's just the style of wrestling per se, because I think the lack of pay-per-views and the network era and stuff like that, I think that kind of goes hand in hand with the indie style. You have to evolve and adjust and stuff like that. So it's not just, the small wrestlers and stuff like that, but I think that the big difference is that, once again, like I said, it was kind of like you watch and like certain people for different reasons, whereas now everybody's kind of very similar to one another, so only the biggest guys kind of stand out, and that's actually kind of a good thing in a lot of ways. But I think now you kind of have a big roster of people that are very similar, or you'd only have the peak guys, and I think it's not very good in the fact of, if, for example, I think powerhouse wrestling is something that a lot of people, I love, powerhouse wrestling, which people are just throwing around and all this other stuff. I think it still has its place, but I think if you go online, a lot of people say that stuff's boring. I think it gives the wrong impression and idea for that stuff. But either way, to continue my point on RVD, I think he's probably underrated because he was kind of one of the first guys to do that. But I don't think there's anyone who's been like RVD since, with that particular style and brand. And there's possibly the chance in which they were going to give him a little bit of the ball and run with it when he won the WWE and ECW World Heavyweight Championships at the same time. But I think we can all assume that at that time, that was around the time when John Cena, was his peak. He's the guy, and he's not going to lose kind of era of his career, from probably like 2005 to 2011. And I think that realistically, RVD probably would have been just similar to Edge in that regard, in which, I think it really took Edge, even though he was doing a lot of great work at that time, I think it really took Edge having to go to SmackDown to be able to, finally have things revolve around him a little bit more, be able to show off and not just be a guy that talks crap, and really show what he was capable of when he had people where it wasn't always going to be a case of, he has to be second fiddle. So I think RVD would have fallen in a similar category. I think he probably would have just, maybe held on to it for a month or something like that, and then lose the WWE title very quickly. Kind of like this match, Heinrich lost very quickly. I don't know, I'm getting better at these matches, but still, I think he never really got the opportunity he deserved in WWE. Okay, you had it your way last week's show, but I still beat your loony lackey, Heidenreich. Now how about you put your money where your supersized mouth is and give me a title match at Armageddon? That's a good point. Hold on just a second, pal. Just because you beat Kai and RVD in an unsanctioned match last week, that doesn't mean you've earned a shot. No, I'm thinking that you still got a long road ahead of you. For instance, you're coming in here and making demands when you haven't even won your handicap tables match tonight. What handicap tables match? I don't have a Orlando Jordan? Heidenreich? You know Orlando and Heidenreich. You did the right thing when you hooked up with me. The biggest superstar in SmackDown history. That line does not sound right. I gotta throw a pause out there. Smart move, plus you'll be happy to know that the Big Show benefits plans covers both medical and dental. What? So go finish the job. Take that sorry SOB out to the ring and put his ass through a table. That's a weird ass Orlando Jordan attire. I don't want to see him again, and I don't want to hear anything else from him about getting a United States title match. Look at his eyelashes. They're so beautiful. So pretty. Was he trying to sit in the chair just then? Because, I mean, I think they misplaced the chair. Oh my god.
From New Orleans, Louisiana, weighing 285 pounds.
It's weird to think. I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman sings this dude's song, too. They can't do goose stepping, so they do whatever the hell that was, I guess. Reminds me of the Bushwhackers, but the Bushwhackers were a little more charming. But I always think these games always demonstrate just how fast the mid-card changed around this time. Like, look at the mid-card in this game and the mid-card in the original Day of Reckoning, and I mean, the rosters are almost kind of completely different. And we got Orlando Jordan. I don't know what to think of this guy. Because he was kind of just a lackey in the JBL administration. I feel like JBL should be the United States champion, because this feels like shit that he would do. Especially with the whole hiring people and all that stuff, so it's kind of weird that it's the Big Show instead, but I'm assuming they might have bigger plans for JBL. But still, I don't know, it just kind of doesn't sit right for me. But yeah, I really know Jordan, I don't know, I thought that whole bisexual gimmick was just kind of weird. And the grossest part about it was the fact that the dude had, like, white chocolate on his chest. Like, I don't really give a shit about, like, you know, him sleeping with dudes and women. But, like, did you have to make it to where, like, they're dipping, like, strawberries and white chocolate on your chest and stuff? That didn't work? Like, I don't know, like, what's the point of making a gimmick about your sexuality, really? If there's, I don't know if there was any storylines that even really involved it. It was just like, nothing was really there. Oh, that was a quick match again. We're breezing through this. Jesus. Never had a chance. Oh, we're doing Spike Dudley style here. That table looked like they didn't do shit to break my fall. What about RVD? Uh-oh. Alright, so I know that Kai has pretty much been dominating Big Show's attention lately. But I don't want anyone forgetting that Mr. Thursday Night's looking for some United States title action too. So Big Show, I'm calling you out, dude. Armageddon's only 2 weeks away, and I want you in a United States title match. Uh-oh. We already took him out, so I don't know what more we're gonna have to do. Maybe a tag match again? Hopefully not. Well, here's Heidenreich's first test. Bob, you're completely insane if you think I'm going to put my United States title on the line against you. For one thing, I must have missed the part where you became the #1 contender. Well, who the hell is the #1 contender, huh? And for another thing, my conscience would really bother me if I took advantage of you and beat you in a title match when you haven't recovered from that beating you took from Orlando Jordan. What beating? Oh, Jesus Christ. This beating. Seen that one coming a mile away. Come on, RVD, really? Turn around, dude. Heidenreich, it's time to take out the trash. I don't want Orlando to tire himself out before his match with Kai tonight, so help him get that garbage out of my ring. Gotta say, this is probably my favorite Ruthless Aggression era look of the Big Show. Damn. That's a nice dropkick. Got to get down there and help RVD right away. Looks like my singles match against Orlando just became a tag team match. RVD's on his own tonight, besides I've already got a singles match. Well, we're gonna help out our old buddy RVD, because he ain't, that boy bad, but he ain't all bad. Is RVD alright? I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Oof. You seen that save. But I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, I've kind of gone on rants and stuff like that saying, yeah, people, you know, in companies, you know, it's not a conspiracy, you know, if they're from WCW or ECW or TNA, to be buried in WWE, and, you know, it's not a conspiracy and stuff like that. And I still agree with that. Like, make no mistake about it, I've kind of said my points a few times. I'm not going to really put the examples out there or anything else like that. A lot of people, I think, they might think that, like, oh, no, of course, you know, like, yeah. I think some people might think, because they misunderstand me, in which, like, I agree they were terribly booked, but I 100% believe that it is down completely to, you know, Vince's incompetency rather than, you know, malice. Not to say that Vince is incapable of that, but, you know, I think some people also, you know, they were just given bad deals. You know, Scott Steiner, he came in and had the club foot and was prepared, so some of it is negatively affected. I think RVD's issues, he never really had a big opportunity, and, well, actually, no, that's not true. I mean, the aforementioned WWE and ECW title, I don't think he had an opportunity that he was given in the 2002 when he first came in, during Triple H's reign of terror, as people call it. But I 100%, you know, it's too bad that because, you know, society looked at weed very differently at the time, that, you know, he kind of got fucked over. And that's coming from a guy who doesn't smoke or anything like that. And I do believe people can be addicted to weed. But that said, I don't think it's a big deal. But I think society, you know, has come a long way on that stuff, so it's just too bad that, you know, RVD's career had to be stunted from that. Same with Sabu. Man, it's amazing how, wow, Taz and Michael Cole. Oh, now I see them. Those signs that were blocking them. I didn't even notice them from before until the camera changed. But it's amazing how spoiled we were with the different looks of the brands at this time. Like, you look at 2006 WWE, look at all three brands, and yeah, you can make the argument, you know, ECW was still third rate and it was never going to be taken serious. I kind of disagree to a degree. But I mean, look at just all three of the arenas, and they were so different from one another. And then we had the whole thing with WWE went HD, and everything got, you know, samey and all that other stuff. I mean, you had SmackDown with the SmackDown Fist. You had Raw with the red and black. SmackDown, as you can see, I mean, I think SmackDown was the coolest arena because it was like, I think it's silver and blue. Some people, I think, sometimes mistake it for white. But I mean, this was so unique. And then ECW, you know, it had like the old school style set. And I think that was just so cool. Wow, that was actually pretty cool how we synced our finishers together. And I don't know, a lot of people say, you know, SmackDown was second rate at this time. If you want to say that, I suppose you could, but I definitely think around this time, like, SmackDown, Raw was definitely the more entertainment-focused show. No doubt about it. But, like, if you think you're crazy, I think you're crazy if you think that SmackDown didn't have stars. I mean, sure, you know, WWE, John Cena was the guy. There's no question about it. But that said, I mean, come on, Batista, Eddie Guerrero, Ken Kennedy, you know, Undertaker, and they kind of like would swap, you know, mid cards and guys who should have been main eventers. Booker T around this time was also awesome. Like, you're out of your mind if you just think because, you know, Raw had more storyline focus and, you know, Triple H and John Cena and stuff like that. You're out of your mind if you think that it was just because they had that it was objectively the better show. Like, SmackDown, when it first started, especially, as always, you know, under the Heyman rule and stuff like that, you cannot convince me that it was not the wrestling show, and I think that definitely helped it in a lot of regards. It was the show that had the rise of the mid-card roster and all sorts of stuff, so yeah, it didn't have guys like Shawn Michaels, or it didn't often have Triple H for most of its run, and once John Cena got to his most popular, yeah, they did go to Raw, but it kind of irritates me the I guess the narrative online, SmackDown was never treated with respect and stuff like that, because they had, it was, especially being in that slot in which, you know, it was Friday night later on, so I mean, that was kind of the, in which it was easier for me to watch. But you know, Raw around the time too, I mean, they were both great shows, but I think SmackDown 2005, 6, 7, man, that was some peak entertainment. You're out of your mind if you think this was... Well, I'll stop repeating my point. You get my point at this point. And I think with ECW, when it first relaunched, I definitely could see it immediately, like, not too long after becoming what it did eventually become anyway. But I think, you know, there's no way that people, you know, yes, it didn't have John Cena, it didn't have Triple H, it didn't have Randy Orton and stuff like that, but it definitely, you can tell they were actually trying to make it something when it first came out. You know, they hired the ECW originals, a lot of them from back in the day. They were trying to make, you know, some lapsed mid-carders from the past few years, you know, give them something to do, like Test, La Resistance, you know, built up Bobby Lashley. RVD was the WWE champion at one point, so they clearly were trying to do things that give it, you know, more of an identity and a direction. And, you know, Big Show was put to the roster. Kurt Angle was given to the roster. I mean, they tried before, you know, Chris Benoit did what he did to put him to the show and give that some legitimacy. CM Punk was on the rise on that. There were some exciting things to do on that show when it first came out. It's just a lot of bad luck. Yes, that said, it wasn't going to be the ECW role. That's just an unfortunate fact. I think it would have done better, honestly, if it was WCW they revived. But I'll give my thoughts on that and after this cutscene. The largest athlete, so it looks like it might be time to finally take on Big Show. Hopefully it's not a 1-on-3 handicap match. Well, after last week, I think we showed why no one is ever going to take this United States Championship from me. Why is that? First of all, look at me. I'm the largest athlete in the world. There's no one in that locker room who can go one-on-one with me. And second of all, even if there was a superstar who could go toe-to-toe with the Big Show, he'd have to get to me first. And with associates like Orlando Jordan and Heidenreich, that's just not going to happen. Now, I could have just like decked you on my way to the ring. So Armageddon might be this Sunday, but it doesn't matter who gets the title match against me. I'm walking in the United States Champion, I'm walking out the United States Champion, and there's not a damn thing anyone can do about it. Look at him blink after that animation. It's about damn time. Jesus. How about you start making the matches? Player, don't you know that whenever you say something like that on SmackDown, you can bet your giant ass that someone's going to come down and prove you wrong. Does have a giant ass. You gotta stop setting yourself up like that, dog. See, there is someone who can do something about it, and that someone is me. Now, Heidenreich and Orlando Jordan might be two impressive superstars to have watching your back, but how are they going to help you this Sunday? When you put your United States title on the line in a steel cage. Ah, for Christ's sakes. Another one? Ain't no way they're going to be able to help you out when you're locked in there, player. Yeah, that's all well and good, Teddy. But who's the unlucky bastard you're locking in there with me at Armageddon? Why not a Hell in a Cell? Well now, that's what we're going to decide tonight. And since Orlando and Heidenreich have been so interested in the United States title picture, I've decided to include them in a fatal 4-way against Kai and Rob Van Dam tonight. Oh boy. The winner of that match goes to Armageddon as the #1 contender for the United States Championship. Can't I just go one-on-one with The Undertaker? Now, Heidenreich, Orlando, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but if you want a little bit of career advice, I just want to tell you that whatever Big Show's paying you is peanuts to what you'll be making if you win the United States title. Interesting. So think about it, players. You can keep getting fed scraps from the United States Champion's table, and judging by the size of that champion, can't be many scraps, you feel me? Jeez, even he's making fat jokes. Or you can step up and take that title and be the big dog, you feel me? Well, they're not going to get that opportunity. Alright, so I believe I finished my points on, correct me if I'm wrong, I think I finished my points on, what I was saying about ECW and stuff like that, but yeah, they had a lot of backing behind them. I think they just had a lot of bad luck, but, oh yeah, WCW, that's what it was. Because, I mean, when you have ECW, I mean, it's literally in the name, Extreme Championship Wrestling. It's got to be hardcore and extreme, and like with that, people say, the fact is yes, ECW's audience was not as big as WCW and WWE's at the time. That's just a fact. But that said, they had the most loyal fans of probably any wrestling promotion of all time. That can't be disputed. So they just picked the wrong brands to reinstate. Because if you had WCW, you know, yes, there still would have been problems with it. Yes, there was not going to be the same amount of respect for it. Because obviously it was WWE, would have been WWE's version of WCW. But the fact of the matter is that you could get away with it not being extreme, you know. You could get away with it, I think, being a little more less faithful to the original product, I feel like. Yes, it would have been a shelf, its former self. I don't think it would have been able to live up to anywhere near the heights of the original WCW. But that said, I think it just would have gone over a little bit well. And, you know, once again, the same thing would have probably happened because, you know, their talent that they kept trying to bring over, you know, they either left because they got sick of the WWE schedule. You know, Kurt Angle couldn't physically go in WWE anymore because his body was just so broken. I mean, he was literally going to probably die. I think he's even said as much as himself. Unfortunately, the stuff with Benoit happened. Big Show is a good wrestler, and he can be a draw for sure, but he's not the draw, and he could never be that guy. You know, he's a very good hand to have on the roster, essentially, in my opinion, and that's coming from a Big Show fan. But you know, the talent, you know, I feel like also it just wouldn't be done in good faith, because I think, you know, if they try to get WCW talent, you know, like Ric Flair, I think would have been a good fit for that show. But I think if they tried to get WCW talent, I think they wouldn't have liked it. I think everybody would have expected the WCW talent, just like how there was ECW originals coming in and stuff like that. And I just don't think that those guys would have come in for that, because I think at that point there was already a lot of bad faith with the WCW invasion and the guys that came over and defected from WCW and stuff like that, and TNA was well established and all that stuff. So it's I guess the idea of the third brand was just always doomed to fail at that point in time. But you know, NXT is a big deal now, and even though it's developmental, and I think sometimes people forget that, the fact is that it is like the third brand, you know, and it doesn't have the same popularity as, god damn it, high and right, doesn't have the same popularity as the main roster and stuff like that, but it definitely is kind of like an ECW thing in which it has a lot of die-hard fans, and I think it's like the internet wrestling community's like favorite brand, or maybe AEW is. But at least once upon a time, especially when it first started, that, you know, Black and Gold, that was a lot of people's favorite brand, the internet wrestling community's favorite brand anyway. And you know, to their credit, I mean, that was NXT back in the day was essentially Triple H's vision for WWE how it is now, except he had you know, just a smaller talent pool that he could focus on. But yeah, you've seen that right correctly, folks. I now have the Diamond Cutter as my finisher. The reason for that is this match is this is actually my fourth time trying this match. It is so goddamn frustrating. People warned me about the steel cage match. I did that on my first try. This is my fourth time doing it, and every single time RVD wins because, you know, he wins by KO with his like front finisher. It's like a martial arts combo kick thing or whatever. Yes, 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 yes! What? Huh? But anyway, yeah, this is the most frustrating match I've had to do in the entire Day of Reckoning series. Maybe the tag team match with Batista, you know, and I think my third Day of Reckoning video, I even titled the video, "This match almost broke me." Yeah, I don't know. This one might be worse just because I'm doing good now, but holy shit, I mean, every issue in this game I have kind of is encapsulated in this match. Stamina running out. AI just randomly deciding to run after you and attack you mid-mat move. Being able to break up moves. Opponents not staying down long enough in order for you to get a pin. The targeting system. You getting hit by random moves when, like, you know, somebody slammed somebody and then their pinky toe hit me when they got slammed. So then, of course, you know, kind of like that, you know, like RVD shouldn't have been falling from that move, but that's how all the moves in this game are. And, you know, you can't go for a pin in a Fatal 4-Way match because everybody constantly gets up too fast. Let's give it a shot here. Or they kick out. Red head. Red fucking head. And this dude's still kicked out. Yep, and here it goes, breaking up the moves. And of course, they'll stay down for maybe... Boy, alright, that was terrible. They'll stay down for maybe 10 seconds or something, which is a healthy amount of time. I'll have a yellow body like I do now. I'm going to stay down mashing the absolute fuck out of that A button, and I will still be down 30 seconds after the fact. My forearm feels like it's going to explode at this point. I'm mashing the A button so much. Oh yeah, of course they're acting like idiots now. Once again, reversals is also an issue. People in this match in particular, I have an issue of everybody's running at me. Look at, they're not even fighting. They're all just looking at me. This is the shit that I'm talking about. And yes, I mean it. Like every issue I kind of have with this game series is perfectly encapsulated in this match that you're seeing now. Which admittedly in the first game they didn't have stamina. So, you know, scratch that off of the first game's list of complaints. But yeah, as much as this is a good game series, don't get me wrong. I wish we had a Day of Reckoning 3. I would have loved to see where the story would have taken us if they had make a third one. Because so far, I mean, like, this story that we've been doing in Day of Reckoning 2, you know, the Day of Reckoning 1, I like a lot of ways because, you know, you start all the way from developmental, then you go to heat, then you go, you know, working your way up and all. That's weird how we went all the way over there. But, you know, I can tell, I kind of thought the World Heavyweight title storyline would be fixed by, you know, SummerSlam at the latest, but it's clear as day that this is kind of like the storyline for the whole year. I'm assuming, unless if it like shows up at Royal Rumble or something. But yeah, I mean it's the story has actually been very, very well done in this so far. I gotta say, I'm not exactly a big. I've already said my complaints about the story, about, you know, the romance and stuff like that. I'm not gonna repeat myself, but other than that, I mean, the whole missing title storyline, that's actually pretty fantastic so far. And it's actually a good thing that I picked the Raw brand on the original Day of Reckoning, because everything seems to tie into the fact that, you know, you fighting for Evolution. So I did have a complaint saying they wanted to see me in the new ministry on SmackDown. Yeah, that's not happening because it doesn't tie into this story. But yeah, I do love this series. It doesn't remind me of No Mercy, I'm sorry. There's a few things that kind of does. And, you know, they say it was developed by Aki devs, and you can see the inspiration, but it definitely feels more like an alternative version of like a SmackDown series game. Guys, come on, please, please, KO, yes! I don't feel like a winner, though. I'm still on the ground. But, yeah, it definitely had a lot of issues in its gameplay that needed to be resolved if there was going to be a third game. But that said, I mean, that's obviously not the issue as to why it didn't get a sequel. Or a third game, I should say. But yeah, pretty cool. I mean, RVD, you know, we're on good terms again. I like it when games and WWE storylines doesn't end when everybody hating each other. It's nice character growth. Kai, you've been through hell these last few weeks, but miraculously, you've emerged victorious each time. Tonight, you've got a United States title match against the man that's orchestrated these attacks against you, The Big Show. That's right, Coach. All I did was ask for a United States title match. And rather than just say yes, The Big Show made a big mistake and made it personal. He would have had a tough time beating me if this was just business, but now he's got no chance. So listening to you now, it sounds like your match tonight is less about the United States title and more about revenge against the Big Show. It did put us through hell. I'd be lying if I didn't say that revenge was a part of it, but it's also about the United States title. After I beat that ogre, the Big Show, I'll have proven that I can make it on SmackDown as a singles competitor. That's true. Plus, once I've got a singles title again, I'll also have proven that I'm championship material. I guess, yeah. I mean, if you're champion, you are champion material. And if I can do that, Stacy might take my phone calls again. All I want to do is explain to her what happened. Jeez Louise, man. That's all I want, Stacy. Just let me explain, and everything will be fine. You'll see. Just give me one more chance, baby. I'm sorry, this is just kind of pathetic. Oh, boo-hoo. Let me wipe my tears away. If I were you, I'd spend a little less time worrying about the chick who dumped you months ago. I would agree, Big Show. And a little more time worrying about the man who's about to break you in half. Uh-oh, should I be worried about the hired idiot who's about to attack me from behind again? They'd better hurry, because tonight I've got you one-on-one in a steel cage. Mano a giganto. Huh, funny. Nah, I gave my boys the night off, so I'll take care of you myself. No big deal. I'll use you to have a light workout. I can't imagine you having a light anything, or a workout for that matter. Jeez. And come on, Show. Why can't you just admit that Teddy Long told Orlando and Heinrich to stay home? Not you. You know, when you run your mouth like that, I start to think that you really don't understand the situation you're in. I'm not locked in that cage with you. You're locked in there with me. And only one of us is leaving with the title. Yeah, that's how that thing kind of works. So take one more good look at this. Big Show with the title, the United States title, just looks right, honestly. I'll admit it. Because it's the last time you're ever going to see it this close. Alright. Big match here, folks, the blow-off. This is actually a pretty fun storyline, all things considered, except for that fucking fatal 4-way! Ah. But it's all about to be worth it, because we're going to win the United States title, and then we're going to forget all about it at the Royal Rumble. Because, you know, they're just stepping stone championships. Unless if, like, at the end of this match, it turns out Big Show somehow wins or something like that. They probably had to special make that title for Big Show, you think? 'Cause that is a big waste. I don't know, what is your guys' favorite Big Show appearance? Because he's had a lot of different looks over the years. Some good, a lot of bad and awkward. But, I don't know, I think this is probably the best look, you know, with the knee pads and... I don't know, one elbow pads don't usually work for me. I liked it when Hardcore Holly did it. But, well, okay, so there's a few people, like CM Punk I think pulled it off pretty well, but... Sometimes it just looks awkward to me, like with the Big Show here. But I guess it works well with, you know, the side with the strap, and then he has the side without the strap and stuff like that. Oh, and also if you're wondering, I decided to just go back to the classic Kai look, because I tried out, you know, the singlet and stuff like that, and I don't know what it is about, I just didn't really like that look very much at all. Unfortunately, no matter, despite my best efforts, I cannot fix Kai's hairline in this game for whatever reason. But other than that, you know, I think it's been this is probably definitely my favorite look of Kai, you know, those marble tights and whatnot, because even earlier in the playthrough with, I think it was like the zebra design, like, it was just all glitchy and messy looking half the time and low res for some reason. But, you know, good to go back to the classics. Oh, hey, they do have the weight mechanic in this game. Jesus Christ, the game wants me to fucking explode my forearm to pick this dude up. Does it get easier if I damage him? Alright. I have to damage him. I think the more damage you do to the opponent, the easier it gets to get out of the cage. And you know, I can't be spending my whole match trying to lift this asshole up when I know I already have to mash the A button to get out of the cage. But yeah, that's another little issue I have with this game. I feel like these games always have button matching, but I feel like there's too much in this game. But I have that issue with the submission system and around this time too. And these games around this time, they want you to break, your hands that have carpal tunnel to be a pro at these things. But I'm sure a lot of Day of Reckoning fans are getting upset with me, complaining about the game a lot. I just noticed I changed the moveset back around to where it is properly, but I saved the Diamond Cutter to be one of Kai's regular special moves. Or not special moves, I should say, but one of his regular grapples, strong ones. But yeah, make no mistake, as much as I complain about stuff, if I complain about stuff, chances are I also love it. So, I mean, people who have watched me long term know that already. I just like to kind of inject my own ideas or things that share my opinion on things that other people might be like, alright, shut up, bitch, we understand. But, I wouldn't be playing this game, especially for as long as I have, if I didn't love it. Because it is a very good time. And this is my first thoughts and first playthrough on the series. Damn. It doesn't get any easier. Does the momentum have anything to do with it? Alright, let's see if I can make another escape. Of course not, he's... Wait! Come on! Dude, you're out of the fucking gates. Thank you. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. And make sure to check out next week's episode on Wrestling Wednesday. But above all else, please remember to have a nice day.